What's going on, everybody? Today I'm back out here in the workshop. This time I'm building a chicken brooder. So let's get to it. This build is going to be based off of the Mini-Brooder out of the Joel Salatin and Chris Slattery Polyface Designs book. Here it is. There's a Mini-Brooder. As I mentioned, this is a modified version of this project. The version that's in Polyface Designs is meant for 250 birds up to 3 weeks. I don't need that many, so I scaled it down just a bit. Being a good boy. Just watching, keeping an eye out. Now for this scaled down version, it will hold up to about 93 birds for 3 weeks. That's plenty. I only plan to do 75 at a time. And for this project, you'll just need a table saw, a circular saw, and a drill. Now, what wood are you going to need? I used pressure treated 3/4 inch plywood and pressure treated 2x4s. To complete this project, you'll need 2 sheets of 3/4 inch plywood and 9 8-foot 2x4s or 6 12-foot 2x4s. I went with 8-foot ones because they were cheaper overall. With the first piece of plywood, you want to cut 2 feet off of one of the ends, so you have a 4-foot by 6-foot section and a 2-foot by 4-foot section. Here is the 4-foot by 6-foot, and behind it, back here, we've got one of the 2 feet by 4 feet sections. The 4x6 portion will be the bottom. The 2-foot by 4-foot section will be the ends, and the 2-foot by 6-foot sections will be the sides. Now with the second piece of plywood, take 2 feet off the top to have a 2-foot by 4-foot section, and then split it down the middle to have 2 2-feet by 6 feet sections. After you've made your cuts, this is what you should be left with. 1 4 feet by 6-foot section, that is your bottom, and then 2 2 feet by 6 feet long, those are your sides, and then 2 2 feet by 4 feet, those are your ends. Okay, now let's build the base for the bottom. I cut 2 6-foot sections here and 4 45-foot sections, and I screwed them together with 3-inch deck screws. Doing it this way will give you an exact 4-foot by 6-foot frame, 24-inch on center. I've placed the bottom onto the frame, and now I'm going to screw it in with 1 5/8 inch deck screws. If you're like me and you didn't make all of your cuts perfectly square, or you didn't screw the base together perfectly square, don't worry about it. Everything will be fine. The chickens won't know. Just put a screw in about every 12 inches, and you are well on your way. Now, let's build us some sides. For both the sides and the ends, we're gonna need some 2x2s. So what you need to do, if you used 8-foot sections instead of 12, rip 3 of them into 6 2x2s. For the sides, we'll need 1 6-foot 2x4, 1 6-foot 2x2, and 4 21-inch 2x2s. And remember, that's just for one side. You have 2, so you gotta double that. All right, I've got one side done. We've got a 69-inch 2x4, 69-inch 2x2, and then 4 21-inch 2x2s in the middle. Now, for this, you just want to have this to be flat, as flat as possible, because this is where you're going to screw the plywood onto. So I just held this piece up with my finger and screwed it in so it was flat. Had to take the jacket off. It's getting a little warm out here. I'm going to repeat the same process to create my second side. both of the sides are all framed out and ready to go, I'm gonna hold off on putting the plywood on until we build the ends. Let's do that now. Just got some new kickers on. Pretty cool guy. And there he is. Just used up my last yellow screw. Now I have to use green screws. Is your OCD going crazy? Sides are framed out. We've got 48 inch and 48 inch 2x2, and then a 21 inch 2x4 on either side, and a 21 inch 2x2 in the middle. The next couple steps are to put the plywood on the ends, and then we're gonna put the ends onto the base. Plywood's laid out. I'm just gonna screw it on with some 1 5/8 inch deck screws. The first side has been put on just with a couple of 3-inch deck screws. Now this is where you're going to see some slop come into play. To make this side fit, I had to push the end over the little piece there so it's hanging off a little bit. And ideally, these would be flush together, the side and the end, but they're not, because that's just how it works when you're a novice builder. To figure out where to put the second end, I just held this side piece up and then marked the end of it here so I know where not to put the end piece. Battery just ran out on my drill driver. Good thing I got a backup. Got the second end on, and then put the first side on. I just dropped a couple screws in the bottom and then 2 on each side to hold it together. All right, the ends and the sides have been put on. Now we're gonna put on the plywood for the sides. And then I think that's it. And here it is, the finished product, ready for some chickens. Thank you for watching. Make sure you get the Polyface Designs book, as well as check out the description for some more detailed instructions on how to build this chicken brooder. If you want.